Logan Paul just got jumped by WWE's biggest stars, and what they did is absolutely disgusting. The most brutal and one-sided beatdown in recent WWE history just happened to Logan Paul, and the fact that four of the company's top superstars ganged up on him proves that WWE has completely lost control of their locker room and their moral compass. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and the Usos united for the first time ever to absolutely destroy the Maverick in an attack so vicious and coordinated that it raises serious questions about whether this was sanctioned by WWE management or if the inmates are now running the asylum. Before I break down every brutal moment of this assault and expose why this might be the most controversial segment WWE has aired this year, answer me this: did Logan Paul deserve to get jumped by four men for his past actions? Or is this gang mentality cowardly and indefensible regardless of what Logan has done? Drop your honest answer below, because what happened to Logan Paul is either justified karma or the most disgraceful moment of 2025. The setup for this destruction started innocently enough, with Logan Paul cutting a promo in the ring about his return to WWE and his plans to prove he's more than just a celebrity outsider. Logan was actually delivering solid material, talking about earning respect through performance rather than fame, addressing his critics directly, and showing the kind of authenticity that's made him surprisingly successful in wrestling despite his controversial background. The crowd was split as usual, with some people supporting Logan's evolution as a performer and others rejecting him based on his YouTube controversies and general persona. Everything seemed normal for a Logan Paul segment, which is exactly what made what happened next so shocking and brutal. Roman Reigns' music hit first, and the tribal chief walked out with that signature confidence and intensity that signals something significant is about to happen. Logan's expression showed immediate concern because he and Roman have history, none of it good, and facing the head of the table alone is dangerous for anyone. But before Logan could even process Roman's appearance, Cody Rhodes' music hit. Then CM Punk's. Then the Usos. Within 90 seconds, four of the most accomplished and dangerous performers in WWE were surrounding the ring from all sides, cutting off every escape route, trapping Logan like prey that's about to be devoured by a pack of predators. The look of genuine fear on Logan's face told everyone this wasn't a work segment where he was in on the plan. This felt real and terrifying. Quick question for the comments: what's the most memorable beatdown in WWE history? Let me know below, because what happened to Logan Paul might have just claimed that title. Logan tried to talk his way out of the situation, which showed both intelligence and desperation. He grabbed a microphone and started addressing each person individually, trying to find some angle that would convince at least one of them to back down. He appealed to Cody's sense of fairness, reminding him that the American Nightmare supposedly stands for honor and doing things the right way. He told Punk that he respected his career and his principles. He even tried to reason with Roman, suggesting that the tribal chief didn't need to waste energy on someone beneath his status. But every word Logan spoke just made his attackers angrier, their faces showing increasing rage as Logan's pleas became more desperate. The Usos entered the ring first, and the twin magic that makes them one of the greatest tag teams in WWE history was on full display as they executed a coordinated assault that left Logan reeling. A superkick from G caught Logan flush on the jaw, spinning him around directly into a superkick from Jimmy that sent him crashing to the mat. Logan tried to roll out of the ring to escape, showing the survival instincts that have served him well in his brief wrestling career, but Cody Rhodes was waiting on that side of the ring and immediately threw Logan back inside. There was no escape, no cavalry coming to make the save, no way out of the nightmare Logan found himself trapped in. CM Punk entered next, and the personal animosity between him and Logan added an extra layer of viciousness to the assault. Punk has been openly critical of Logan Paul in interviews, questioning whether celebrities should be taking spots from wrestlers who've dedicated their entire lives to the business. Now Punk had the opportunity to physically express those criticisms, and he didn't hold back. A series of brutal knee strikes to Logan's head left the Maverick dazed and bleeding from his nose. Punk followed with a GTS that connected with sickening impact, and Logan's body went completely limp, the lights clearly going out from the force of Punk's signature move hitting flush. Do you think CM Punk's criticism of celebrity wrestlers like Logan is valid, or is it gatekeeping that ignores Logan's actual in-ring ability? Share your take in the comments. Cody Rhodes' participation in this beatdown is what makes the whole situation feel so wrong and controversial. The American Nightmare has built his entire WWE persona around honor, integrity, and doing things the right way. He's supposed to be the moral center of the company, the babyface that children look up to and adults respect. But watching Cody systematically dismantle Logan Paul with a combination of his father's signature moves and his own brutal offense completely contradicts everything Cody claims to represent. The crossroads that Cody hit on Logan was delivered with extra torque and force, driving Logan's head into the canvas with impact that looked genuinely dangerous. Cody's face showed no remorse, no hesitation, just cold determination to inflict maximum damage. Roman Reigns waited until last, watching his temporary allies soften up Logan before the tribal chief delivered his own punishment. This patience and strategic thinking is classic Roman, always letting others do the initial work before he comes in to deliver the final, devastating blows that everyone remembers. When Roman finally entered the ring, Logan was already destroyed, barely conscious, in no position to defend himself. That's when Roman hit not one, not two, but three consecutive Superman punches, each one snapping Logan's head back violently. The third punch left Logan completely unconscious, his body limp and unresponsive. But Roman wasn't finished. He positioned Logan's broken body and delivered a spear with such force that it actually moved Logan several feet across the ring, folding him completely in half in a way that had medical personnel immediately moving toward the ring in concern. The most disturbing aspect of this entire assault was the celebration and coordination among the four attackers after they'd finished destroying Logan. Roman, Cody, Punk, and the Usos all stood over Logan's unconscious body, raising each other's hands in victory like they'd accomplished something worthy of celebration rather than just committing a 4-on-1 assault on someone who couldn't fight back. The image of these four men, who under normal circumstances would never align and have been enemies at various points, united in their destruction of Logan Paul sent a chilling message. If WWE's top stars can put aside every difference and beef they have with each other just to destroy Logan Paul, what does that say about the culture backstage and the level of animosity towards celebrity wrestlers? What do you think motivated these four to work together? Was it genuine dislike of Logan, or did WWE orchestrate this for storyline purposes? Drop your theory in the comments section. The medical attention Logan required after the attack was extensive and concerning. He had to be placed on a stretcher and fitted with a neck brace, standard protocol for anyone who suffers the kind of head and neck trauma Logan endured. Blood was visible on his face from what appeared to be a broken nose, and his eyes were glassy and unfocused, classic signs of a significant concussion. The fact that Logan couldn't walk out under his own power after taking moves from four different wrestlers, each determined to hurt him, shows this wasn't a typical beatdown that wrestlers bounce back from immediately. These were real injuries that will require real recovery time, assuming Logan even wants to continue his WWE career after experiencing this level of violence and betrayal. The crowd reaction throughout this beatdown was fascinating and revealed the complicated relationship wrestling fans have with Logan Paul. Initially, when the four stars surrounded the ring, many fans cheered because Logan is generally a polarizing figure who gets booed as much as he's cheered. But as the assault continued and became increasingly one-sided and brutal, the cheers turned to uncomfortable silence and even some boos directed at the attackers. By the time Roman hit his third Superman punch on Logan's unconscious body, large sections of the arena were expressing disapproval, not because they suddenly loved Logan, but because what they were witnessing had crossed from entertainment into something that felt genuinely wrong. Wrestling fans can sense when violence has gone too far, and this attack clearly exceeded those boundaries. Have you ever felt uncomfortable watching a wrestling segment because it went too far? Share your experience in the comments below. The social media explosion following this segment has been unprecedented, with Logan Paul trending worldwide within minutes and his mainstream followers who don't normally watch wrestling suddenly paying attention. Logan's non-wrestling fanbase was outraged, calling for legal action against the attackers, demanding WWE be held accountable for allowing this assault, and flooding social media with support for Logan. Wrestling fans were more divided, with some celebrating Logan getting what they perceived as deserved comeuppance while others criticized the cowardly 4-on-1 nature of the attack. The engagement numbers this segment generated are exactly what WWE wants, but the controversy and potential backlash from Logan's massive non-wrestling audience could create problems that overshadow the short-term benefits of viral attention. Paul Heyman's absence from this segment is conspicuous and raises questions about whether he knew it was coming. Heyman advises Roman Reigns and typically appears alongside the tribal chief for major moments, but he was nowhere to be seen during this attack. Some speculate that Heyman advised Roman against participating in this gang assault, recognizing it would make Roman look weak and cowardly rather than dominant. Others think Heyman specifically stayed away so he'd have plausible deniability and could claim Roman acted independently if the segment generated too much negative backlash. Either way, Heyman's absence speaks volumes about the questionable nature of what occurred. The backstage reaction among other WWE superstars has reportedly been mixed and created tension in the locker room. Some wrestlers who've never liked Logan or resented his celebrity status taking opportunities from full-time wrestlers were openly pleased that he got taught a lesson. But other performers, particularly those who've worked with Logan and respect his surprising ability and willingness to take risks, were disturbed by what they witnessed and concerned about the precedent it sets. If four top stars can gang up and destroy someone they don't like without consequences, who's safe? What's to stop this from happening to anyone else who finds themselves on the wrong side of locker room politics? The fear and uncertainty this attack has created backstage could affect morale and working relationships for months. Can you name another time backstage politics led to an on-screen attack that made the locker room uncomfortable? Share your wrestling history knowledge in the comments. The potential legal ramifications of this attack are something WWE will probably never address but absolutely should. In what world can four employees gang up on another employee, physically assault them to the point of requiring medical attention, and face zero consequences? Even in the context of professional wrestling where violence is part of the job, there are supposed to be boundaries and protections. This wasn't a scheduled match where Logan agreed to take certain bumps. This was an unprovoked ambush where he was given no opportunity to defend himself and was subjected to finishing moves from four different people. If Logan wanted to pursue legal action claiming assault or that WWE failed to provide a safe working environment, he might have grounds depending on how the incident was documented and whether he consented to any of what happened. The business implications for Logan Paul's continued involvement with WWE are significant and potentially negative for the company. Logan brings mainstream attention, celebrity credibility, and a massive social media following that WWE values highly. His matches have consistently delivered quality performances that exceeded expectations, and his willingness to take huge risks has made him a valuable attraction. But after being humiliated and destroyed in this manner, why would Logan want to continue working with WWE? He doesn't need wrestling financially, and he could easily walk away from the company and focus on his other ventures. If WWE loses Logan because they allowed or encouraged this attack, they're sacrificing long-term mainstream relevance for short-term shock value, which would be a massive strategic mistake. The storytelling possibilities emerging from this attack could be compelling if WWE handles them properly, but there's significant risk of this being mishandled and wasted. The obvious direction is Logan Paul seeking revenge, possibly forming his own group to even the odds, building toward a massive showdown where he gets payback on each person who attacked him. But WWE has a terrible track record of starting revenge storylines and then forgetting about them halfway through or booking the victim to lose repeatedly, which destroys any satisfaction the eventual revenge might provide. If Logan comes back and loses to all four of these people in subsequent matches, the attack becomes pointless and just makes Logan look weak rather than sympathetic. Do you trust WWE to properly pay off this attack with satisfying revenge for Logan Paul, or will they drop it in 3 weeks when they move on to something else? Share your prediction in the comments section. The alliance between Roman, Cody, Punk, and the Usos specifically for the purpose of destroying Logan raises questions about whether this temporary unity will have broader implications or if it was truly just about eliminating a common enemy. These four represent different eras and philosophies of WWE, and under normal circumstances would never work together. If they can unite against Logan, could they potentially form a larger alliance? Or was Logan literally the only thing they could all agree on hating enough to cooperate? The answers to these questions will determine whether this attack was an isolated incident or the beginning of something much larger that reshapes WWE's entire power structure. The ethics of four established stars ganging up on someone they perceive as an outsider is troubling and reflects poorly on everyone involved regardless of their justifications. If their problem with Logan is that he's a celebrity taking opportunities from real wrestlers, the solution isn't to physically assault him 4-on-1. That just makes them look insecure and threatened by his presence rather than confident in their own abilities. If they wanted to prove Logan doesn't belong, they could challenge him to fair 1-on-1 matches and beat him cleanly. Instead, they chose cowardly gang tactics that make Logan more sympathetic than he's ever been in his WWE career. The comparison to other gang beatdowns in wrestling history shows this Logan Paul attack was particularly brutal and one-sided. Groups like DX, the NWO, and The Shield attacked people regularly, but those attacks usually served clear storyline purposes and the victims typically had allies who would eventually even the odds. Logan was isolated, outnumbered, and utterly destroyed with no help coming and no indication that anyone backstage cares enough about him to support him going forward. That loneliness and vulnerability actually makes Logan a more compelling character than his usual cocky persona ever did, which is ironic since the attack was presumably meant to diminish him. So here's my final question, and I genuinely want diverse perspectives on this: was the 4-on-1 destruction of Logan Paul justified payback for his controversial past and his celebrity status taking opportunities from real wrestlers, or was it a cowardly gang assault that makes Roman, Cody, Punk, and the Usos look weak and insecure? And more importantly, how should Logan Paul get his revenge? Should he form his own faction to even the odds, or should he try to beat each of them individually to prove he's better than they think? Get in those comments right now and let your voice be heard, because Logan Paul just became the most sympathetic figure in WWE through the most brutal beating of his career, and where this story goes from here could define the company's direction for the rest of 2025.